Hello students, welcome to the next session of engineering mechanics. In this session we will be studying the concept of moment of inertia. Okay, so before moving to what is moment of inertia, I want to discuss something about moment of inertia here. So the name says moment of inertia. Okay, so before that, let me make you clear about what is inertia now. So what is the meaning of inertia? The meaning of inertia is, it is resistance to motion or resistance to force, right? Resistance to force. Then inertia is it is resistance to motion. Now what is moment? Moment is nothing but it is a rotational force that is caused because of application of force at the end of the object. Now for example, if this is some line element and if I apply force F here and force F here, how will this object rotate now? How will this object rotate? Now if this is the object and if I am applying force from bottom and I am applying force from top here, so the object will rotate like this. The object will rotate like this. So how is this object rotating? So this force is trying to lift it up like this. So object will rotate in this manner. It will rotate like this. Now this is a object. I'll apply one force here. I'll apply one force here. So it will rotate like this. So this rotation caused by this force is what is called as moment. Now if I combine together moment plus inertia, then what is the meaning of that? It is the resistance. The moment of inertia is resistance to rotation. Resistance to rotation, or it is also resistance to bending. Now when I apply rotation to this object, now suppose if you consider this object, so when I apply rotation, the object may bend like this, it may bend like this, or it may bend like this. Now when I consider this object like this, when I apply some rotation or when I apply some force, how will this bend? It will bend like this. So it is very easy to bend because the thickness here is very less or area here is very less. So I can easily bend this. So resistance offered here is what? It is very less. Now in the same way, if I hold this object like this, if I hold the object like this, when I hold it like this, it is very easy to bend, means the resistance is very less. If I hold the object like this and if I try to bend it, what will happen? Now even though I am applying force like this, I need to apply force like this. What is happening? It is bending in this direction. Now it is not bending like this because area over here is more compared to this. So here the resistance to movement is more and resistance to moment is less. So moment of inertia of this object is greater from this side and it is less from this side. So this is what is moment of inertia. Now what is moment of inertia? It is resistance to rotation or it is resistance to bending. Now we'll look at the definition. So moment of inertia is, it is a measure of object's resistance to change its rotation, also defined as capacity of a cross section to resist bending. It is expressed in mm raised to 4, meter raised to 4, centimeter raised to 4. Suppose if I consider a very thin man, a thin guy and a very fat guy, who do you think will walk faster? Obviously man with less weight will walk faster than the man with the heavy weight. So he will walk fast and he will walk slow. Why? Because for an object, when you apply some force, now this is an object of mass m and if I apply some force F, right, if the mass is more, For example, this person, if the mass is obviously more because he is fat person, so force required here is more to make this person move. Similarly, if I apply force for this person whose weight is very less, he'll he'll react faster. It's the same way when I apply force here, if mass is more, then the resistance is more. If the mass is less, the resistance is very less. So that is what is the concept of this. So thin man will walk faster than the fat man. So this is what resistance here is more, resistance here is less. Now in dealing with centroid, what we used to do when it was a centroid, if I consider any object, a random object, centroid was located at the center of the object. Centroid, that is what area of the whole object is assumed to be located about a common point. So that point we used to call as centroid. So centroid was what? It is nothing but the first moment of area. That was summation A into X was what? It was given as centroid. Right? It was given as centroid. Now that is what is in dealing with centroid, the moment of area is taken into consideration, which is a product of area and its perpendicular distance A into X. That is what is first moment of area. If this moment of area A into X, the same moment of area, what is A, capital A or summation A into X, if I multiply this thing with one more X, multiply with the same perpendicular distance one more time, is multiplied by the same perpendicular distance, that is A into X is first moment of area. If I multiply once again X, then it is called as A into X square. Then this product is called what? Moment of area or second moment of area, or it is called as moment of inertia. So moment of inertia, if I consider any object, if I consider a rectangular object like this, so moment of inertia is always acting about the centroid. Remember this, moment of inertia is always acting about the centroid. So this is the axis of symmetry. This is the axis of symmetry. So this horizontal axis, I'll call this as IXX, and this vertical axis I call this as YY. So if I want to calculate what is the resistance of the object with respect to this horizontal axis, then I'll term that moment of inertia as moment of inertia about XX axis as IXX. Then the moment of inertia developed about Y axis, I call it as YY axis, IYY. Now this is X, this is Y. Where is Z? Z is perpendicular to this. Z is perpendicular to this. Then that resistance I'll call this as IZZ. Now one thing to show you people is, if this is the object, if this is a rectangular object, consider this as a rectangular object. Now this horizontal line is X axis, this is Y axis, and perpendicular to this is Z axis. Now when I say XX axis, how will the object rotate? The object will rotate like this, or it bends like this. If it has to resist bending, it will be resisting like this. When this is what axis? This is XX axis. If I say Y axis, then how will the object rotate? It will rotate like this. Y is what? Vertical, it will rotate like this. If I say Z axis, then how will the object rotate? Z axis is here, so it will rotate like this. It will rotate like this. It will rotate like this. So rotation or resistance of the object about this X axis is denoted as IXX, and rotation about Y axis is denoted as IYY, and rotation about Z axis is denoted as IZZ. Hope you are clear with this. Hope you are clear with IXX, IYY and IZZ. So moment of inertia is denoted with I or MI, or it is also denoted as MOI, and unit is mm raised to 4 or meter raised to 4 or centimeter raised to 4. Hope you understood what is moment of inertia. Moment of inertia, once again I will repeat, it is the resistance to rotation. It is the resistance to rotation. Okay, quickly moving on to next part, that is we will derive the mathematical relation for finding the moment of inertia. So moment of inertia by integration method. So we will find out how will you denote the moment of inertia mathematically. It is what? A into x square is what is second moment of area, or it is called as moment of inertia. Now I'll consider irregular shaped object, and I'll take a thin elemental strip whose shape is rectangular in shape. So the area of this elemental strip, I'll call this as dA. So this thin elemental strip, there are many such elemental strips within this object. So what I'll do is I'll first find out what is the moment of inertia of this object, then I'll integrate that element, then what I'll get the moment of inertia of the complete object. Now if the irregular shaped object is of area A and this elemental strip is of area dA, and the CG of this elemental strip is x bar and y bar, then consider the plane lamina whose moment of inertia is to be considered about x axis and y axis. Divide the whole area into number of strips. Consider one such shaded strip. So I'll divide this into number of strips. So I have highlighted only one such elemental strip. Now the area of elemental strip is what? It is dA. Then what is its distance? The distance is x and y, that is the distance of CG from x axis and y axis. Now what is the moment of the elemental strip about y axis? What is the moment of inertia of the elemental strip about y axis? Now which is y axis? This is y axis, this is y axis, this is x axis. Now, what is the rotation caused by this elemental strip about y axis? The rotation caused by this elemental strip about y axis is, so don't take this as x bar, you take this as x and y now, because it is of elemental strip. So the rotation or the moment of inertia of the elemental strip about y axis is, this is area dA into what is its perpendicular distance with respect to y axis. So rotation is, it will rotate like this. So area into perpendicular distance. So area is dA into perpendicular distance is x. Similarly, moment of elemental strip about x axis. X axis is this. So about y axis it will rotate like this. It will rotate like this. Then with respect to x axis, how it will rotate? It will rotate like this. It is like this, it will rotate like this. So what is its perpendicular distance? It is y. So what is area? Area is dA into y. Area is dA into y. So when I say moment of elemental strip, so this is the first moment, which is nothing but the centroid. Now for this moment or for this x, what I should do to get the moment of inertia? I should add one more perpendicular distance. So second moment of area of elemental strip about y axis is what? So d into a into x is 1. For this what I should add? I should add x again. So 2 times I should add x to get second moment of area. So this will be what? dA into x square. Similarly what I'll do here, this is with respect to x axis, so dA into x, dA into y into y. So this will be dA into y square. So this is what? This is the second moment of area of elemental strip about x axis. Now the same thing that is of one elemental strip. To get the moment of inertia of whole lamina, so this whole lamina I should calculate what is the moment of inertia. What I'll do, I'll integrate the moment of inertia of one strip. Then what I'll get? I'll get the moment of inertia of the complete strip. So moment of inertia about x axis means what? About this x axis is denoted with what? It is denoted as Ixx. It will be what? So Ixx is dA into y square. dA into y square. Why? About x axis, what is the moment of inertia? It is area into perpendicular distance. About y axis, what is the area? Area into perpendicular distance. So it is dA into y square. Now when it is said whole lamina, what I should do? I should integrate this. So integration of dA into y square will give you what? Moment of inertia about x axis. Similarly, to get what is the moment of inertia of whole lamina about y axis, what is the area about? The moment of inertia about y axis is what? One strip, it is dA into x square. So moment of inertia about y axis is what? It is dA into y square. It is dA into, sorry, not y square, it is dA into x square. See here, about y axis, it is dA into x square. So this is of one elemental strip. Again, what I should do? I should integrate this. So integrating this, what I'll get? I'll get moment of inertia about whole lamina. About what axis? I'll get about y axis. So this is the relation to find moment of inertia about x axis and y axis. Now when I said x axis and y axis deals with only the two-dimensional object. When it comes to the third dimension, what will you? So third dimension is nothing but it is the z axis. So determining the moment of inertia about the third axis, that is z axis, is called as polar moment of inertia. It is called as polar moment of inertia. Again, consider a irregular shaped object. I'll take a small elemental strip whose area is dA. So its perpendicular distance with respect to z axis is what? Is called as r. So perpendicular distance of this object with respect to y axis is what? X. Perpendicular distance of this object with respect to x axis is y. X axis is what? It is y. Then perpendicular distance of this object with respect to z axis is what I'll call as r. So if I draw that triangle, this perpendicular distance is x, y, and this is r. Then if I apply Pythagoras theorem, what is the value of r? So r is equal to what? Root of x square plus y square, or r square is equal to what? X square plus y square. R square is equal to what? X square plus y square. Now we'll get what is value of Izz. Again, some moment of inertia of an axis about an axis perpendicular to its plane is called as what? Polar moment of inertia. I'll consider an area in xy plane. Then its moment of inertia about its perpendicular axis z passing through the origin is given by, so moment of inertia about z axis is denoted as what? Izz, which is given by what? Summation of dA into r square. That is what? This area is dA, this area is dA, and into its perpendicular distance square. We'll get what? We'll get dA into r square. Summation or integration, the meaning is same. That is the total moment of inertia of the object about z axis. Now, so summation dA into what is the value of r? We have calculated it. R square is what? X square plus y square. So this is in bracket. So what I'll do is I'll multiply this bracket. So this will be summation dA into x square plus summation dA into y square. Now tell me, what is summation dA into x square or summation dA into y square? So let me tell you, integration and summation both means the same. Now summation dA into x square or integration of dA into x square, meaning what? So we derived the relation here. See here, summation dA into x square means what? It is Iyy. So summation dA into x square, I can write it as Iyy plus summation dA into y square. What I can write it as? Summation dA into y square is what? It is Ixx. So can I write here this as Ixx? Okay. So this is what? Izz. So what is the physical meaning of Izz now? So to get the value of Izz, what I should do? I should add moment of inertia about x axis and moment of inertia about y axis. So this gives moment of inertia about z axis. So this is what is called as polar moment of inertia. This is called as polar moment of inertia. Hope you followed this. Okay. Moving on to next part. So next there is concept called as radius of gyration. So radius of gyration is denoted as small k. Okay, so let me tell you the concept of radius of gyration first. So radius of gyration in general is nothing but it is a effective distance where the area of the object is assumed to be concentrated. Area of the object is assumed to be concentrated. Suppose I will consider a circular disc which is rotating like this, right? So moment of inertia I will call about this point as I. So what is this? I will call this as a radius, right? And this is called as the area of the disc. So this R, or I'll call this, instead of calling R, I'll call this as K. So K is what? This is the effective distance. Then what is K equal to? K is nothing but or I'll call I is equal to what? Area into K square, perpendicular distance square. So this K is what? Is radius of gyration, or K is equal to what? It will be I by A, right? Now the physical meaning of K is the moment of inertia of this circular disc about this vertical axis. If I denote this as I, and if this is the area A of the circular disc, instead of this circular disc, what I'll do is, with respect to this vertical axis, I'll tie this with some object. Whose area is equal to same as that of the circular disc. So when I replace this circular disc with some of the object or member or system, I'll replace this with some of the system such that area of this system is same as the area of this disc. So when I place this system with respect to this vertical axis, provided I'll neglect the weight of this string. String is weightless. So the distance at which I should place this system, whose area is same as that of the circular disc, such that this distance, when I place this system, should produce the same moment of inertia as that produced by the circular disc. I'll repeat once again. Firstly, there is a vertical axis where this circular disc is provided, which is of area A, and I'll denote this distance as K, which is the radius of gyration. So I will be what? Our moment of inertia of this circular disc about this vertical axis is given by I is equal to what? Area into K square. Then K is what? Root of I by A. Now what I'll do is, in the next step, with this vertical axis, I'll replace this circular disc with one system such that area of this system is same as that of the area of the circular disc. Now I should place this system about this vertical axis such that the moment of inertia produced by the circular disc about this vertical axis is same as that of the moment of inertia produced by this system about the vertical axis. So the distance at which I place this system is what is called as the radius of gyration. So radius of gyration is mathematically denoted as K is equal to under the root moment of inertia about area. So this is the formula to find the radius of gyration. Hope you understood the meaning of radius of gyration. Okay, so this is all about the first session. So hope you have no doubt with what is moment of inertia, what are the mathematical formula, how we arrived at Ixx and Iyy, and what is polar moment of inertia, and what is radius of gyration. In the next session we'll be dealing with the theorem of moments and some other concepts related to moment of inertia. Thank you very much.